I love you. What does an iceberg mean? Hopefully, Mandy will explain. Thank you, Wandering Stars.
Mario Kart, one of Nintendo's
Mario
most beloved
Kart.
spin-off series, selling millions and being one of the top sellers in every Nintendo console. Such as others out there, I am such a big fan of Mario Kart, and I've been with the series for a while, ever since Double Dash, since that was my first game. And as you can see by the title, we will be going over the Mario Kart Iceberg. So in case you don't know what an iceberg video is, I'll quickly just explain it. It's this image full of different hoaxes, theories, secrets, trivia, anything of the sorts for a certain series. With the deeper you going being a bit more obscure, not known, or just a bit plain weird. I actually have already done another iceberg video relating to Danganronpa.
Basically, an iceberg is basically... Tip of the iceberg is things that everybody knows, and the deeper down you go, it's the more and more rare facts about Mario Kart.
So, you know, if you want to go watch that video as well, a link will be in the description. All of my sources for information, research, etc. will be in the description. And, you know,
cite your
with the intro
sources.
out the way, let's get into the iceberg.
Okay. What's with your smirk? Focus on the video! Okay, above the surface.
Nintendo
You'd be
Wi-Fi
stupid
connection.
if you don't know this.
This is basically Nintendo's old online service during the Wii and the DS days, as later down the line, it got replaced with Nintendo Network in 2012. However, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Kart DS, and Super Smash Bros. Brawl were some of the most popular games when it came to the service. So I guess that's why it's on here, but unfortunately, the service got discontinued in 2014, meaning it's impossible to use anymore. Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road Ultra Shortcut. I'm sure many old school players know about this, as the name suggests. There's a certain spot on the original Rainbow Road for Nintendo 64 involving you throwing a shell at yourself to get over the rails and then advance further.
What the hell?
Since this course was probably one of the longest tracks in the game, people use it for speedruns to get records, and I'm sure the shortcut has been spread around quite a while during its heydays. Rob. Mario Kart DS featured a very standard cast with some odd exceptions, like Koopa Troopa
I
being
love
replaced
Mario Kart DS. I remember playing this when my parents were going through a fight.
with Dry Bones, or Shy Guy being locked to only people using DS download play. However, Mario Kart DS had another secret character unlock, which is Rob. Rob doesn't really need much of an explanation nowadays, but it's basically a toy from the 80s that Nintendo used for a couple games.
Wait, this is just who Rob is? Oh my god, that's so funny. Of course everyone should know who Rob is.
Rob was by far the hardest character
to
unlock in Mario Kart DS. And plus, on top of that, this marked the first ever non-Mario character to ever join the Mario Kart series.
All 50?
TWD.
Wait, what in chat of you don't know Rob? Are you serious? You don't know Rob? The robot? The guy who connects to the fucking TV? Thank you, silly hippo. Who the fuck is Rob? R-O-B. Rob.
98. I'm sure many of you in the Mario Kart community are familiar with this person, as they are a YouTuber with over 300k subscribers. They mostly focus on Mario Kart Wii content, with other Mario Kart games being shown off here and there.
Cool.
I like Troy's videos, and even if I haven't watched a ton of them recently, he's very respected and very liked within the community, so that's why he's on here.
TWD.
And he does make great videos, so if you do want to go check out their channel, the link will be in the description. Rubber banding. Rubber banding is basically...
I've told you this. Rubber banding is when you're in first and you're so far ahead and the CPU starts moving faster to catch up to you automatically, so you don't break away ahead too fast. Yes!
A term used in video games in general. However, in Mario Kart's take, it refers to people accusing the AI in Mario Kart to be rubber banding, which means stuff such as getting faster speed when behind, or having an unfair advantage when it comes to items. So in hindsight, it basically means that it's trying to give the AI a chance to catch up to you. But as far as I can tell, I believe the most accused game of this is Mario Kart Wii, as the item spamming and the item unfairness in that game is insane, with other games in this series slowly falling behind in that topic.
Mario 64.
Emblems is that thing you can do
It was
in Mario
really
Kart
bad.
DS where you can design your own
Tintard, Kraka, what?
Thank
Thank you for the subs.
Outside of this, there wasn't really much of a use for it, and personally for me, I never bothered with it.
I saw the
don't
fucking
ever hear
fattest
any
hog in
outcry or
those
anything in the
albums.
community for its return. And I mean, the thing is, it's actually never returned for Mario Kart DS. So
I wonder
honestly,
why.
I think it's probably just gonna stay stuck on that game because I don't see a reason for them to bring it back. Donkey Kong Jr. was planned for Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash had a couple of demo discs that were used for people to play the demo of the game on, obviously, as demo discs were popular during the GameCube era. However, these demo discs included
No
so
Donkey
much
Kong
more
Jr., but they
unused
included
graphics
Diddy
and
Kong?
strings of
I wonder if
text
they're gonna
that
switch
weren't
it
in
this
the
next
final
one.
game. But when looking at one of the unused graphics, we see an early version of the character selection icons, and as you can see, Donkey Kong Jr. is here instead of Diddy Kong. As far as I can tell, apart from this, there isn't any other footage or images or anything of Donkey Kong Jr. being in the game. However, the fact that it's in the game files is basically enough evidence to say that Donkey Kong Jr. was considered. But ultimately, Diddy Kong was the best choice. Mario Kart Tour.
Oh!
I'm not exactly sure why this one is on here, as I'm pretty
I
sure it's
love
just talking
Mario
about the
Kart
game in
Tour.
general. So I'm not exactly sure what to say here, except that
I
Mario
used to
Kart
play this
Tour
at
is
work.
a mobile Mario Kart game. A lot of people hate it, and a lot of people love
I
it.
love it. I
It's got
love
very mixed
it.
opinions in terms of the community.
I used
and
to spend so much
honestly,
money.
I would play it a lot more if the gotcha shit didn't ruin the game.
It didn't ruin it. It was so good. It's so good.
Coconut Mall Ultra Shortcut. For this one, there is an out-of-bounds Coconut Mall glitch that allows you to clip into the car park at the end of the track.
What?
If you drive in a certain pattern, you'll be able to basically finish the entire race by driving in a circle 3 times. Just like all the shortcuts on this iceberg, it's mostly done by people doing speedruns or want better records. Character crossovers.
Wait,
Just
you know
like
what I just
Bravo on
realized?
this
I
list.
know nothing about Mario Kart speedrunning.
So this refers to all the crossover characters seen within the series. So far we've had Link, Inklings, Isabelle, and Villager. With these only being crossover characters at the moment, there are also crossover amiibo costumes from other series such as Sonic, Pac-Man, Pikmin, Kirby, Star Fox, and more. I'm sure later down the line we're gonna get a lot more character crossovers, as I feel like Mario Kart 8, the way they did it, was just the beginning. So honestly, I like this future for Mario Kart. Luigi's backwards L. On Mario Kart Double Dash's box art, the L in Luigi's hat is backwards. At first, fans thought this was because it could have been a reference to mirror mode and that the whole box art was flipped. However, DK's car isn't flipped, so this was just a mistake on the box art. I have no idea how it happened, and honestly, I don't think there's much more to it apart from being an accident.
The L was real.
One-lap tracks. This is in reference to certain tracks in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 that have 1 laps. These tracks act more like tours, and they actually benefit the 1 lap system quite well. I'm sure we will see these more in the future, however, as it stands,
You're right!
there aren't many 1 lap tracks in the game compared to
Wait, good job, Mandy!
Unplayable Mario Kart Wii characters. Within the game files of Mario Kart go
You
unused
knew!
character icons, which ultimately suggests that these characters were originally going to be playable in the game, but were scrapped for unknown reasons. Firstly,
Like who?
we have is PD Piranha and Koopa Paratrooper,
Dude, thank God they cut fucking Koopa.
who both appeared in Double Dash.
Useless character. I don't want filthy Koopas in my fucking game.
To this day stay exclusively to Double Dash, as for whatever reason have just never been brought back. And here we have a Hammer Bro who was going to be a newcomer for the series. And, you know, it's kind of funny because it was going to be their first playable appearance. However, to this day they still remained unreleased and unplayable in Mario Kart. I mean, they're playable in Mario Kart Tour now, but in mainline Mario games, they're not here.
They'll be there next game.
Peach is going backwards on the Mario Kart 8 box art. Well, this one is kinda just as it says. In the Mario Kart 8 box art is the 8 circuit track from the same game. I get what they were trying to go for with the whole anti-gravity thing on the box art. However, if you look at the layout and the way they are going on the box art compared to the actual game, Peach and Mario are actually going backwards on the
Yeah, what are they doing? What are they, stupid idiots?
track, which is just like the backwards L thing on Luigi's hat. It's probably just a mistake and nothing more.
No, they're fucking
But
idiots.
it's kind of funny to look at.
That is
Royal
funny.
Raceway Peach's
I
Castle.
love videos like this, man. I just love this. Can I just say that? This is the fact that this video exists. It's like, it's just a perfect mix of like not overly produced, not underly produced. It's
On
just
the track
so
Royal
good.
Raceway from Mario
Just so
Kart 64,
passionate.
there's a certain point on the track where you can just go explore the outside of Peach's castle.
Wait, this is the real texture that's slightly edited from SM64.
Which is just the hub area of Mario 64, just a bit
Isn't that
smaller.
so cool?
It's a really cool
Like, isn't that cool? Like from Mario 64.
looking Easter egg, and honestly, outside of just having fun, there isn't actually a point to checking this out in the game, but it's a really cool Easter egg. However, when they brought this track back for Mario Kart 8, they actually blocked this off, so you can't check it out, which basically ruins the Easter egg. I mean, it's such an odd thing to do, but okay. Maka-Woohoo Ultra Shortcut. Similar to other Ultra Shortcuts on this iceberg, there was a certain place on Mario Kart 7's track, Maka-Woohoo, where if you went out of bounds, then you would respawn in another location on the track, meaning this was needed.
Dude, I think the popsicle made me sick. Is that crazy? Sorry.
For speedrunners or record places. However, later down the line, they patched this shortcut out, but people's records were still there who used it, so I didn't see the point of this, but there you go. Regional track name differences. This refers to the names of tracks being different for certain regions. This is done for many reasons, such as traditional Japanese
Like, I'm
culture not
cold, I have a
connecting with the same
chill.
with an American audience. For some reason, most of the differences come from the American version and the European version more than anything else. And I'll list a couple off by saying the American versions first, followed by the European versions. DK Summit is DK Snowboard Cross. Cheap Cheap Lagoon is Cheap Cheap Cape. Woohoo Loop is Woohoo Island Loop. Piranha Plant Slide is Piranha Plant Pipeway. Maka Woohoo is Woohoo Island Loop. Music Park is Melody Motorway. And lastly, Bone Dry Dunes is the exact same, but just without the dash. Fire hopping. This was
I know fire hopping.
Or a tech in the original Mario Kart 8 game, where after a boost, if you constantly did the jump button left and right, you would do something called fire hopping, which allowed you to get a bit of an extra boost. It wasn't too much of a boost, but to be honest, it was very needed for speedrunners or pro players. However, when Mario Kart Deluxe came out, they patched fire hopping, seemingly because they either saw
It was so
it as a
fun.
glitch or a bug.
Are you acting like you could fire hop?
Honestly, I'm surprised it took them until Deluxe to patch this out, rather than patching out when the DLC came around, because I'm sure they knew about it. DK Jungle Parkway Island. I'm honestly not too sure what this means, as researching doesn't really help much. However, my only guess is that they mean this small island right here that appears just before the boost. My
No
guess
way.
is that it's referring to that maybe people are trying to get to the island, or maybe you can, if there's a way to get there without hacking, to see if it's possible. 'Cause
It's
apart
not.
from that, I have zero clue what this means. FPS.
I love that. I love that it's still included in the video. It's so just so sweet. I just love that. It's like, well, we have to include it because it's part of the iceberg for the integrity.
Mode. At first, I thought this meant a mode to tell you your frames per second, but then I saw people talk about it online, which wasn't a mode. And then I thought, oh, they probably meant the Mario Kart 7 mode where you can play in first person. However, that's called first person view, which would mean that it would be called
FPV.
FPV mode, not FPS mode. So I legit have no idea what they mean by FPS mode. So if anyone in the comments can please let me know, I would love to know.
Anyone in the Twitch chat comments know?
Because I legit have no idea what
Me
this means.
neither. I have no
The
clue.
Mario Kart Wii channel. This was a specific Wii channel dedicated to Mario Kart Wii, where you could use the game's Wi-Fi features a lot more than the original game, such as tournaments, doing online ghost races, view rankings, and much more. The channel was a fun little distraction to mess around with. However, just like Nintendo's Wii Online, when it got discontinued, the existence of the channel is basically non-existent anymore. Grumble Volcano Ultra Shortcut. This is the last famous shortcut on the list, which involves Grumble Volcano. At the start of the race, next to the starting line, is this mountain rock thing, whatever, over here. If you manage to get on top of here, there is a trick in order to complete all 3 laps just by circling the rock. I have no idea why this happens. It feels as though the game believes you are out of bounds, but you're not, so that's why this trick works. Either way, just
How does that work? Did they put like mini checkpoints
I've
here?
mentioned
I didn't know
before,
that.
This is kind of required for pro players, but this shortcut was removed in the Mario Kart 8 version. Sherbet Land Island. Just like the DK Jungle Island one, this is from Sherbet Land on the Nintendo
Please watch the summoning salt video on this.
4 version. It basically is
Yo,
a
it's a
giant
winky
course
face.
around this one island in the middle with a giant penguin walking around. I'm sure many players believe that it was possible to get to this island without hacking, and I'm sure many of us when we first played had theories about getting there, since I remember the first time I played this track on Mario Kart Wii, I thought it would have been really cool to go to the middle of the island with the penguin. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any possible way to get there.
Yeah.
CTGP Revolution. This is a custom application which adds over 200 custom tracks to Mario Kart Wii. Created by the talented modders of Mr. Bean 35000 VR and Chadders, released in 2014. I'm pretty sure to this day they're still being
Mr.
updated
Bean.
with thousands of custom tracks that you can play online using a custom Wi-Fi called Wii Mifi? I probably said that wrong, sorry. And the thing is, when you check the stats, there are thousands of people still playing online, even as we speak right now, which is so cool, and I'm really happy that this community has carried on living, despite Nintendo taking down the servers, and it's created an amazing place for people to enjoy Mario Kart Wii.
Aww.
A link to their website will
Dude,
be
can
in
you
the
imagine if Nintendo just embraced, like, their little sub-communities? Like, I feel like Nintendo could just flourish so much.
description if you want to check it or download
Like,
it.
instead of just, like, instantly striking down things, like, their own fans. I don't get it.
Yourself to play with others. Fake item box removal.
Big
This
corporate.
refers-
Like, why? Why would they do that? I don't understand the incentive. It's not even money. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Don't you strike down your own fans? Nathan, I know you saw it. I won't say who. Someone's like, is it okay if I monetize a channel I use your likeness in? Of course it is! What do you think? Monetize, of course!
Also the fact that
You should, yes! Get your
recent
money!
releases on
Get
Mario
it!
Kart, the fake item box items
Please!
have basically just been removed and forgotten. I can kind of see as to why they did
What if I responded, lawyer up, bitch? That would have been badass. Lawyer up, bitch.
this, as it works the exact same as a banana. It's fairly obvious which is a fake and which is a real.
And then I'll tell Nathan one day, execute order 66, and then copy strike everybody all at once.
box as well. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, fake item boxes are actually worse because you can't defend yourself from hits. Well, bananas you can. Either way, the last time a fake item box was in a mainline Mario game,
Dude, the fake
was
item
Mario
box is
Kart
the best
Wii,
item
which
ever.
was
Why did
back
they
in
remove it?
2008.
L choice.
And honestly, I don't see it returning anytime soon.
Yo, Rowan, thank you
Fourth
for the
place
tier
gets
1.
blown up. This
Rowan
refers
Brook.
to Mario Kart 64.
I don't know why I said that so cool. Yo, thank you, Rowan Brook.
Where if you don't get a top 3
W's
spot
in the
at the end
chat.
of the 4 races, your character is just here. They're just watching the other characters get their rewards. Then then the music slowly turns very weird and changes tone very quickly. But afterwards, your character drives off over a
Any
hill,
caption?
only to get blown up by a bomb. Honestly, this scene is kind of comedic with Toad, as you do like a little funny scream. But with every other character, it's just very quiet, and it feels really morbid and weird, honestly. Especially with the sudden music changing.
What? Jesus. So it's okay for Toad to die?
Galaxy
Like, because I guess if Toad screams, he goes, "Wow!"
Coliseum.
But everyone else just dies quietly, so it's weird.
This was a battle stage that is currently inaccessible that features an enemy from Mario Galaxy, since the battle stage inside is basically just a whole big Galaxy reference. These were playable
What?
during different tournaments that Nintendo set up, and the goal was to knock off the enemy with each item box giving you a triple mushroom. This was a really cool concept, and I love the Galaxy-themed arena since,
Thanks,
well,
Bella.
it's the only Galaxy reference in the games in terms of a
Wait,
stage.
I've never seen this. Have you guys played this?
And of course, because
I've
of
never even
Nintendo
seen this
Wi-Fi
before.
being terminated, it's impossible to access this stage anymore unless you hack the game yourself. Peach and Bowser get wasted.
What the fuck?
This refers to both Peach and Bowser drinking champagne bottles within their victory screens. Bowser drinking so much that it's pouring
Excuse
from
me?
their mouth, and Peach's face getting really blushy and really red from drinking.
Holy shit.
However, these were only in the Japanese version, as during this period, Nintendo of America's policy did not allow any suggestion of drinking of anything
Austin changed them.
alcoholic. So in every other version, their victory screens were changed. For Bowser, it just shows them cheering with the bottle, and with Peach, it shows her flipping the bottle into the air and catching it again.
What? They still have the bottle?
DK Pass special item box.
What the fuck?
In the Mario Kart DS track DK Pass,
That's
there is a
kinda
special
crazy.
item box, so when you get to the top of the mountain, there's a hill to your left which just looks pointless, but there's a hidden item box at the top. As far as I can tell, this specific item box gives you better items than normal. Even if you in first, you'll get stuff such as triple mushrooms or even stars.
Test that. Test
I
that.
have
There's
no
no way.
Why this is a thing, but it's a really cool little secret. And
Wait, they should actually make that a thing on all these different maps.
the special
That's actually a really cool
item
idea.
box actually does come back for Mario Kart 7.
Like a riskier path to take with one item that gives you a higher item drop. Oh, like a golden item box. Inspiration. Think about that. A golden item box.
and Mario Kart Tour. Double Dash 16
Write that down. That's actually a great idea. Can we make a Jira ticket?
player mode. This comes from the LAN mode within the game that was used as a sort of multiplayer mode where you could play with multiple GameCubes, so you wouldn't have to do split screen, and it was before online multiplayer was a thing for Nintendo. In order to get 16 players, you would need 4 GameCubes.
It's a bit gimmicky. Meanwhile, they're selling a fucking plastic steering wheel. You understand? A plastic steering wheel to control the whole fucking game. A bit gimmicky to change the color of the box.
With 2 split screens, and then since Double Dash has a thing where you can play with 2 players, one driving, one holding the items, you can get 16
Double Dash
players.
was awesome.
Or like, 8 GameCubes with 2 people
I've never
per
seen
GameCube.
8
Honestly, there are
GameCubes.
videos out there of this
This is crazy.
people using this, and it looks like a lot of fun, but I can imagine it being really annoying to set up. Mission mode in Wii. Mario Kart DS features mission mode, and it's pretty liked within the community, doing different challenges while fighting bosses at the end. Mario Kart Wii was originally going to have a mission mode, but was replaced for unknown reasons. One reason I see brought up a lot is the fact that tournament modes on the Mario Kart Wii channel basically replaced what mission mode was, and since you can't do them anymore, it's kinda just pointless.
Wait,
One reason
mission
why this
mode?
blew up was because this was discovered 9 years after its release, and Nintendo
Thank you,
never said
Prezzo.
anything of the sorts. So we had no idea about this unused mode. Mr. Bean 35,000 VR is who is
Classic
one of the
Mr.
creators
Bean.
of that
Thank you, Pelly
CTGP
Poke.
Revolution software that I mentioned earlier, is the same person who discovered this and provided all the coding for this unused mission mode. All the tracks in Double Dash are connected. So as the name
Wait, aren't they doing a mission mode in the next Mario Kart? Or did I just make that up?
says,
Like, I've been a little sick. Aren't they doing that?
Double Dash has many tracks that connect
Like in the open world?
to each other and are really cool Easter eggs. It kind of reminds me of how Super Mario Sunshine did this detail as well, and considering the fact that they're both on the GameCube and their release dates were close to each other, I'm not surprised. Within Peach Beach and Yoshi's Circuit, you can see a boat in the far distance, which is the Daisy Cruiser track,
Oh,
and within
I've never put that together. I'm not even fucking clip farming or whatever. I've never fucking put that together. That was the Daisy Cruise map on Sunshine thing. Did you? Am I just stupid? Did you guys ever see that boat and you're like, that's the Daisy Cruise in the background? I had no clue. Why does it matter? Nothing matters. It's just fun to know things like this.
Circuit, you can see a boat in the far distance, which is the Daisy Cruiser track. And within Baby Park, you can see a volcano in the background, which is the same volcano that's featured in the DK Mountain track.
Don't make
And you
fun
can
of
also
me.
see this volcano very
I
slightly
read that in your voice too.
from Dino Dino Jungle. It's a really cool detail, and I wish they would do this more in the future.
Wait, cool. Wait, it's actually cool. I'm actually fucking soy posting.
Kamek and Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64's beta character roster basically stayed the exact same, except Donkey Kong was...
Yo, what the hell? Thanks for the 1,000 bits, Ashley. I need a good joke. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels.
With Kamek. Nothing against them, but I feel like a Koopa would have made more sense to include over Kamek. However, in the final version, they
Thanks
were
for the
replaced with
1,000
Donkey
bits.
Kong, and ever since, Kamek has never seen a playable appearance.
Mario Kart Tour, actually.
Imprisoned.
You can play as Kamek in Mario Kart Tour. So, should I add that as a comment in the video? It's actually not correct.
Kamek has never seen a playable appearance in the series.
Imprisoned
Okay. Fromp. This is from the.
I just feel like they would want to know.
Castle track in Mario Kart 64, there's a long hallway in which at the end of the hallway features a green fromp in a cell behind bars. There isn't a reason as to why they are behind bars, and it's most likely that this was just to give the impression to how scary the track was compared to other courses in the game, but people really jumped on this as like with crazy theories and hoaxes over the years. People saying stuff such as you can free the fromp, and fans even calling the fromp Marty, even though they don't have an official name. But ever since, people have created these hoax images of opening the cell and unlocking Marty as a playable character in Mario Kart 64. It's honestly really funny and stupid in my opinion. I love it.
Marty Kart 64,
and in the Wii version
imagine.
Of this track, the Fromp stays imprisoned, however, they aren't green this time. Mario Kart NEX. From what I'm gathering...
Connects, not N-E-X. Connects.
This is just like a Lego thing, not actually Lego, but basically very similar, where you can build your own tracks and races with Mario Karts. So
no, it's not. It's totally different than Lego. It's totally different.
Some of the stuff here looks kind of cool. From what I'm seeing it, a lot of it was labeled as Mario Kart Wii.
I mean, it's similar. It's like worse Lego. I love Connects.
So that's probably when they got around the time of being popular. But apart from it being a toy, I don't know what else to say here. Luigi's Raceway Special Item Box. In Mario Kart 64, Luigi's Raceway, upon the second lap, a balloon with an item box will float down. You can jump and manage to get this if you time your jump correctly. It's kind of harder and it's a bit more situational than the one in DK Pass. However, here's the catch to this.
Why would you ever do that?
It will always carry a blue shell inside. And that is really good. That feels kind of broken almost.
What? Had? Always? I didn't know that.
However, when they brought this track back in Mario Kart 7...
Wait, but what if you're in first place? Can you get a blue shell and, how do I put it in Mario Kart terms? And, yourself?
It's kind of harder and it's a bit more situational than the one in DK Pass. However, here's the catch to this iron box. It will always carry a blue shell inside. And that is really good. That feels kind of broken almost.
Wait, that's actually so... Why do they remove stuff like that?
When they brought this track back in Mario Kart 7, the item box was on the balloon, but unfortunately, it was just a normal item box and does not guarantee a blue shell like it did in the original.
Fuck you.
Double Dash bonus disc. So back in the day,
I had this.
Bonus discs,
it came with the Star Wars.
Similar to demo disc, where with a purchase of Mario Kart Double Dash, you were entitled to get a bonus disc, which included playable GameCube.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron,
such as Mario Party 5, Sonic Heroes, F-Zero GX, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3. You can also watch game trailers for upcoming games like Kirby Air Ride, Pokemon Coliseum.
Oh, Harry Potter Cringe World Cup.
For Bikini Bottom.
I played the shit out of that.
Extras that got others interested in games, since back then we really didn't have the information that we're used to, and also apparently demo discs or bonus discs are really rare, so there's that too, I guess.
Oh, they are?
Luigi's Mansion Good Ending. At the end of Luigi's Mansion, the game gives you different houses depending on how well your rank was throughout the game. On screen, you'll see different houses depending on what rank you get, which is basically the endings for these games. But on Luigi's Circuit track from Mario Kart Double Dash, you can see the outside of the track here, the rank A house for Luigi's Mansion ending, which...
Did you know this? Wait, why is this video so interesting? What the fuck? This is crazy. Nobody knew this. No way.
Which is referred to the good ending. I guess this means that it's canon that Luigi got the good ending in Luigi's Mansion. Either way, it's a really cool detail that is hidden within this track. Pac-Man. I guess not a lot of people know about this one, but Pac-Man is a playable character in Mario Kart arcade games, which is
I played the Mario Kart arcade on stream, if you remember.
called Mario Kart Arcade GP. These arcade games were made and published by Bandai Namco. It features your typical Mario characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Bowser, Wario, you know, the usual.
Exclamation
But
point
it also
YouTube
features
for the YouTube
characters
video.
like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Blinky, as these were a part of Bandai Namco. However, I find it so odd that these characters are yet to appear as playable characters in the mainline games, especially considering that they are fully playable here, and Pac-Man even has an amiibo costume in Mario Kart 8. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the future
Ugly
Pac-Man becomes a
costume.
playable character.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Because
Looks like a fucking
arcade games.
vibrator. No, I'm sorry. The darkness. Uh-oh.
Mario Kart Doki Doki Race. Here's the gameplay of this. I have legit no idea what's happening. It looks to be a Japanese arcade game, and I have no idea how it even works or how it controls, because trust me, there's like barely any information online about this. My guess is that it may have been overtaken or replaced by the Mario Kart arcade produced by
This is so lame.
Bandai Namco, but apparently it was produced by Atlas. You know, the same Atlas that made Persona. And plus,
What? Dude,
when I try researching this topic, I just get people talking about DDLC, which has nothing to do with this, so because of that, I'm moving on. Mega Mushroom in Mario Kart 7. This comes from the game files of Mario Kart 7. If you look at a certain folder with a hex editor, you can see there were listed 2 unused items that never made it into the final game. One being the Mega Mushroom for Mario Kart Wii.
I wish they
the
didn't
other one
remove
being
the
fake
Mega
item
Mushroom.
box. Since they are still within the coding of the game, it's believed that these were planned for development, but something must have gotten in the way or they got replaced. I can totally see the Mega Mushroom being a bit weird or not working correctly on the 3DS since it's portable, and maybe it just didn't fit with the whole gliding mechanic either. However, the fake item box, I have no idea why, and it was probably just the same reason as why the fake item boxes have been removed from most Mario Kart games.
Hot take, they should remove blue shells from Mario Kart. Bang.
Super Mario Kart R. Super Mario Kart R is a kind of a well-known for being the beta of Mario Kart 64. I'm not exactly sure why it was called Super Mario Kart R. However, it's obvious that 64 was added since nearly every Nintendo 64
Bring back
game
more
at the
fun
time had the
items,
number
get rid of that
64 in the
shit.
title. Here's the old title screen, and here's what the old character selection screen would have looked like. And as you can see, featured earlier within the iceberg was Chemix.
This is like when a streamer has a front camera. It's so weird.
Over Donkey Kong spot.
Like, I feel like it's too awkward. I guess they're like comfortable looking at their chat, like having eye contact when they're talking to people. Like they're made to be. Do you know what I mean? Like I hate when like a streamer's like looking.
Wasn't
you know what
too
I mean?
much shown about this beta, so there's not much to say.
No, never mind.
But it's very interesting to see what the name was called and how the old hoods would have looked like, or even some of the courses. Alright, I'm going to talk about 2 here since they basically both relate to each other, but Mario Kart Arcade GP VR and Robo Mario. As the name suggests, Mario Kart Arcade VR is basically the arcade titles just in VR. Weirdly enough,
Thank you,
this is
Unknown
technically
L.
classed as the 4th Mario game in the Mario Kart Arcade series. You wouldn't think they would make 4 of these, but here we are. The
Dude,
only
these games are
characters you can
good.
play as or that are used are Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and Peach. I guess this arcade game is kind of rare to come by. As you know, with this pandemic, it's way harder to do public
Mario Kart VR Arcade GP?
VR things. And, you know, I just don't see that ever happening for a pandemic at this moment. And then, oh boy, Robot Mario. This isn't like a hoax or anything or a theory. Within the first 2 arcade titles, at the end of the Rainbow Cup, Robo Mario challenges you to a race. The thing is, you can't even attack Robo Mario, and Robo Mario can spawn an infinite amount of items. Like, what? I have no idea what the origins of the character is, as there isn't any detailed in the game. But judging by the fact that they have a their Mario Cap icon is Professor
Is Professor Egad? He's also the guy who made Flood, and also Luigi's Vacuum from Luigi's Mansion.
Egad. It's gonna be another Sunshine situation where Egad has made something without anybody's knowledge. Plus, apparently, one of their main items is a black shell. The arcade games are kind of really weird, and it has stuff that we've never seen in the series.
Holy
before,
shit,
like
you
a
can
poison
aim?
mushroom, or a tornado, or a bone hammer. Mario Kart 64 Cape Feather.
This is what I'm talking about. They should add stuff like that.
Just in Mario Kart 64's beta, they were originally going to have the feather as an item, like there was in Super Mario Kart. The screenshots you can see on the screen aren't the best quality, but as you can see, these are from official screenings of the game before release. You can see the Cape Feather here. The thing is, during the Nintendo source leak, Mario Kart 64 source code shows that indeed the Cape Feather was going to be an item. Reasons for its being scrapped are unknown, but honestly, if you've played Mario 64, I rarely see a time where this could have been used, and because of that reason, I guess they saw it as pointless, which is probably why it got removed. Unlocking Rosalina via Mario Galaxy. In Mario Kart Wii, many of you are familiar that this game in the series has the most character unlocks of any Mario game we've ever seen. In Rosalina's case, she made her first debut as a Mario Kart character in Wii, and in order to unlock her, you had to earn at least 1-star rating in all of the 8 Mirror Cups. However, there was an alternate version of unlocking her, which if you had a Super Mario
installing Dolphin, going into options, and checking cheats.
Galaxy save file on your Wii, and then playing at least 50 races, you could unlock her. I'm sure this is how many people unlocked Rosalina playing Wii, because honestly, getting a star rating in Mirror Cups is actually really difficult. So I'm sure this is basically the main reason why people unlocked Rosalina on Wii, and I'm sure many people didn't even know how they unlocked her. But yeah, it's nice to see that they added an alternate way of adding characters from their own original games. Purple Shell. Back onto the topic of unused or scrapped items, the Purple Shell was an unused item in Mario Kart DS. However, it only came in a stack of 3, instead of it just being a singular.
Purple shells.
Mario Kart DS had other unused items such as a Chain Chomp and the Bowser Shell. However, of these 3 items, only the Chain Chomp has data to it, where if you tried getting it working, all it does is crash the game. The Bowser Shell was in Double Dash, so
ew, why is it like wet on the bottom? It feels like it's like a mucusy.
How that works. However, we have zero clue what a purple shell would have been used for or what it would have done, because there were 0 comments attached to it. So that's all I can say. It's an unknown shell with unknown properties. Alternate Parade Cart. The Parade Cart is the last cart you unlock in Double Dash.
Cart.
It's down by completing all the cups in mirror mode with a first place win.
If anyone is racing against me and chooses the parade card, I don't respect them as a human being.
The parade card has an alternate version where when you win, both your characters will stand on these extenders while Toadworth drives. I guess people had theories or hoaxes that you could unlock these alternate versions of the cart. However, it's impossible to unlock any alternate version as it's just for show.
AF.
Google Maps Mario Kart. So to celebrate Mario Day, which is March 10th, because you know, the month and the day spells out Mario's name.
This Mario Day is during Women's Month, which is great. But maybe next year, Mario can have the month, and women could have the year, because we should celebrate women every day.
Google Maps put a really cool Easter egg and a secret where you can have Mario driving for your Google.
Can we start a hype train if you agree? Oh, okay, I guess not.
Maps, instead of it just being normal.
I don't know, that's just me though.
There isn't really much to it apart from a really cool Easter egg, but honestly, it's a cool detail and I hope more stuff comes like this in the future. Mii Outfit C. In Mario Kart Wii, the Miis have 2 different types of outfits. Mii Outfit A has just a normal looking tracksuit, while Mii Outfit B has a Mario type of outfit. Both seem fine, but apparently within the game file shows a Mii Outfit C, which never made it into the final game. It's possible to load up this Mii outfit with hat.
Looking the way you guys are dressed, I'd give your outfit a C.
However, due to the files of it being removed from the game disc, it's impossible to see what it's going to look like. And from this video, we can see that it messes all of the kart stats once you pick it. The icon is also very different from the original 2, which feels as though this didn't really get too far into development. Either that, or it looks like this was going to be an earlier version of the Mii outfits instead of the icons we got now. Mario Kart DS Lost Beach. This comes from Mario Kart DS unused course, which is called Noko course, which has a beach shell to it. Not all the textures are finished, and
there are not that many beach courses, are there?
There already was a new beach
Plaza
track in DS, which was cheap.
Cheap.
So it's most likely that this is the reason why they never continued on this other beach level. However, Swanky Box over here did an amazing video on this topic, covering the level in much more detail.
Wait, there's like Mario Kart YouTube that I'm just not familiar with?
So if you want to go watch that video to learn more about
Shit.
it, I'll leave a link in the description, go check them out.
Dude, I get instantly cold.
Mario Kart for Nintendo GameCube. This is basically the Double Dash beta. This beta has very little information, and there isn't any footage apart from an 8-second clip online. All that's in this clip is Mario and Luigi driving around. You can notice that their models are just basically ripped from Super Smash Bros. Melee, and considering the fact that this footage
Here we go. Where's my chatters with SSBM in their name? They're about to flip out. You know what, though?
From 2001, it makes more sense as to why their models were
You
from.
deserve to have a mispronounced.
Since honestly,
Alright.
they probably just put this clip together in like a few hours or just a very short amount of time to show that a new Mario Kart was in development. And considering the fact that the 2-player kart mechanic feature isn't here, it shows that this video was very rushed. So yeah, I think this was just for a teaser. Mimitochi, I think that's how you say it. So you know Tamagotchi, those little handheld digital pet things?
Nintendo Tamagotchi.
Heard of these, but they were super popular back in the 2000s, and are still going to this day. Well, the thing is, the main mascot of the series is a character called Mimitochi, which is this cute character you see on the screen right now.
Ugly character.
But what does this have to do with Mario Kart? Well, to many people's surprise, they are actually a playable character in Mario Kart Arcade GP2.
Look at it. Let's not pretend. It's fucking ugly. Ugly creature with weird looking fucking ears and eyes and a stupid face.
And they even have a couple courses themed after them, and plus have so many advertisements for Tamagotchi all over the charts.
Wait, it's in the Mario Kart.
It's a cool guest character that nobody really expected.
Wait, I played as this character. Do you remember in the Mario Kart arcade thing? I remember saying, who the fuck is Mama?
VB Mario Kart. This refers to an unreleased Mario Kart game that was going to be on the Virtual Boy. You can already see as to why it was unreleased due to the failure of the Virtual Boy. It appears in a gaming magazine where they list off a bunch of upcoming games for the console, and one being listed as VB Mario Kart. Apart from this, there is little to no information on the project itself, as it never even got far into development. So all we can really do is guess and speculate.
Dude, if you choose your me in Mario Kart, you deserve the worst.
Sonic and Tails.
Like you're competing with all of the most amazing IP in the world, like Mario. You can be Peach, you can be all this, and you choose like yourself. Like who the fuck do you think you are? You know, you can be Yoshi, you can be Birdo, you can be anybody, and you choose like someone who literally looks like this. Like why would you choose that?
Were planned for Mario Kart Double Dash. Alright, so this comes from an interview that Shigeru Miyamoto did before Mario Kart Double Dash's release, in which he said this: "We're having a series of meetings about Mario Kart for the GameCube, and we've come to the point where we'll be making some drastic changes compared to the other games. Sonic the Hedgehog might be one of the drivers." I honestly have no idea why Miyamoto said this, since as far as I can tell, this is the only thing that sparked up the interest. There is no other evidence about Sonic being playable or planned for Double Dash, but of course
he won't be in Double Dash, he's way too fast.
Because of this interview, many people began spreading rumors and theories and hoaxes about Sonic being in Double Dash. And
it'd be kind of cataclysmic for the
canon of Sonic. Just doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, the reason why Tails is here is because of the whole 2-player mechanic thing in the game, and Tails makes the most sense for a duo with Sonic. My only guess is that Miyamoto was trying to make a joke here, because right before he talks about how the series is going to be drastically changed compared to the other games in the series, that is all I've got, since there was legit no other reason why he said this. Like, yeah, I feel like it was a joke, but it just didn't come out right. Yeah, like, don't fucking joke about that 64 shit. Town track. This comes from the source code of the game where there was a track called town_PK. It has somewhat of a complete look to it. You can see some screenshots on the screen right now with people theorizing that this track could have been too big. This is just DE Inferno. And that's why they got rid of it. To me, it seems like it would have been a fun track, and I can see it being going down banana within these alleyways. But apart from that, it looks to be a lot of fun. And I keep seeing a lot of interesting furries that it looks like the village from Ocarina of Time.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
I don't think they have any resemblance,
Oh.
but I mean, it's a good fairy.
Thanks.
The
Fuck, I don't know. Do I go fuck myself, or are you congratulating me? I mean, I'm getting mixed signals. Jesus Christ.
Moon Musical. This comes from the Mario Kart Wii track Moonview Highway, where you can see this billboard to the side of something called the Mushroom Moon Musical. Now, if we rip the game files and grab the image in higher quality, here it is. Now, people say it's a reference to King Kong, and it probably is. That's probably most likely what it is. However, this is just supposed to be a very small Easter egg that probably doesn't mean anything, but for some reason, people have taken this poster to extremes with theories. For example, people keep saying that the title here is the same font as Pikmin, and because of that, believe that these dates here were hinting at a new Pikmin game. Another story is that you can see Petey Piranha on the poster, which many people believe that they were a secret unlockable character, you know, considering that they never returned from Double Dash. And even on the starring cast, they weren't listed here, and it made many people believe it even more. Another thing as well is that if you're playing as a Mii on the track, Peach's head will just be gone and replaced with a Mii's face. However, if the Mii directory isn't working, you just get this poster of Peach without a head, which is very cursed, and it's created some people creating some very creepy theories about this, and honestly, it's just really funny. However, it's just an Easter egg poster. I don't think there's much to it, but like I said, for some reason, people made it a really big deal. SEQ Circuit 2. This is an unused song for Mario Kart DS, and I don't mean within the game files, it was actually in the demo version of Mario Kart DS. This song exists nowhere in the final version of the game. For many theories, it was most likely a placeholder and played on multiple different tracks. And honestly, I really think that it was trying to show the player of what type of music to expect in this game, as this game was a Mario Kart game with MIDI files, and they wanted to show players what they could do with it. Either way, a link for the full song will be in the description if you want to hear it. Rainbow Road.
What? Play the song!
FZeroX. So
can we hear it? Let's hear a little bit of it. Let's hear what the song is. God, I just want to hear the song. Wait, it's pretty good. It's called SEQ Circuit 2. I have to sneeze. I'm sick. Anyway. That was awesome. Okay, wait, we're not done with the video. It's almost over.
Iceberg. I had a lot of...
Sorry.
5. There were a lot of unused content which his head will just be gone and replaced with a Mii's face.
Popsicle made me sick.
And this the F-Zero game style was either way, a link for the full song will be in the description.
We just listened to the song.
Rainbow Road in FZeroX. So in FZeroX, which is the Nintendo 64 F-Zero game.
FZeroX, incredible game.
Called the Joker Cup.
Almost as good as the GameCube one.
Nintendo 64's Rainbow Road, but without some of the railings and some slight differences that help fit the F-Zero game style. Some really cool additions to this course is that if you have the expansion kit for the game, instead of it playing normal music, it will actually play a heavy metal remix of the Mario 64 Rainbow Road theme, and that's really cool. Plus, if you attempt to do the ultra shortcut in the original game, your car will actually just blow up and results in a death, which is really funny. Despite the original being super long, you can actually beat a lap within this version within about 20 seconds, so yeah. Terrorist attack image in Mario Kart Arcade GP.
What? What the hell?
So we've talked about the Mario Arcade games quite a lot on this iceberg. However, within the first game released in October 2005,
that took a little bit of a turn.
Unused content within the game files. However, there exist free JPEG images to help test the camera feature out. The first
Sir,
it
I
shows
can't say
multiple
that.
different colors, which was most likely a color test. The second image is a bit strange, as it shows mascots of an expo that was held in 2005. Again, I'm not sure why this is here and why it was used for a camera test, as I'm not sure it would have helped. However, the third and last image shows a photo of a school hostage crisis where over 1,000 people were taken hostage within a school located in Russia.
What
I
the
honestly have no
fuck?
clue why this is here, and I don't see how this would have helped test the camera feature at all. An image like this should not be in a Mario Kart game, but
Brave.
according to the files, it was supposed to be used for testing out the camera feature.
It
And
should
I doubt
not.
we'll ever get an explanation for this. Tesla Mario Kart game. This
Oh, yeah. They said no to put it in Tesla cars.
isn't really anything too
A long
big,
time
but
ago.
multiple models
Yeah.
of Tesla cars have giant screens that you can use in your car, and for some reason they added the choice to play games. Many people suggested Mario Kart to be playable, however Elon Musk replied in a tweet to a fan suggesting Mario Kart and said, "We tried, Nintendo won't license it to us," thus indicating that Tesla were going to try and get Mario Kart playable for their cars. It's pretty obvious as to why Nintendo said no, as playing games or other distractions in a car can cause crashes or injuries. And Nintendo knows that car accidents are some of the most easy and common practices for lawsuits within court. So for the people's safety and the safety of them losing their money in court, they denied the deal.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend moment. They later shut down all Melee tournaments. Project M has been shut down. Mario Kart licensing has been revoked.
And there we have it. That was the Mario Kart Iceberg. I had a lot of fun making this, and this took
I
many
had so much
days
fun
to make. However,
watching
I'm
this.
glad I've been able to finally release it, and I hope that, honestly, you, the viewer out there, enjoyed the video.
I
Please let me
really
know in the
enjoyed this
comments,
video.
As all support or likes, anything, it's all very appreciated, so thank you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Wow, that was amazing. I just loved watching that, actually. Mandy Lovely. Here's the link. That was great. Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even imagine how much research goes into that. Oh my god. Wait, drama. Not sure why there's so many hate comments on this video. Most of them are not giving actual criticisms. Oh my god, of course, like, Mandy, don't listen to the hate comments. People are just so annoying. I'll continue to try and make entertaining content. God, I'm on Mandy's side. That must be so frustrating. I love how, like, there was so much, like, oh, and, like, some people might be offended by this, but whatever. There's nothing you can do. That was awesome. Hey, there's so much, like, interesting Mario Kart stuff. Why did you leave a hate comment? I don't think I've ever left a hate comment in my life. Wait, I think why does it look like you're expecting undesirable weather? I'm sick from eating a popsicle. This fucking popsicle has made me sick. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I was feeling fun, I ate a popsicle, and now I have the cold. Ozzy, thank you. Welcome to 35. Is that common?